Okay, well, like it says right here, welcome to Biology 1408. I have this set up to where you can watch this little presentation, and you also have the slides also available on Blackboard. So with this, you're going to learn a little bit about me, what's going to be in this course. I know some of you are probably terrified to take biology, but it's really a lot of fun. A lot of my students love it by the time they are done. Then they want to take 1409, which I also teach. Um, I'll talk about how the course is going to be graded, some of the things you're going to do, and kind of walk you through so you're not totally lost like once you log into Blackboard. So let's get started. Make sure I got my little pointer. There he is right there. So I like to always start off with a little bit about me. So my educational journey is quite diverse when I think about it. I did my bachelor's in animal science because I wanted to be a vet at first, and I did a minor in biology at Tarleton State University. And it was the course of genetics that made me fall in love with biology. Really, it was genetics, and that totally took me from the pre-vet track, and I decided I want to explore research a little bit. So after that, I did my master's in agriculture, also at Tarleton, and studied goat nutrition. So if you ever want to hear some stuff that I did, I studied the conditions of tannins and how that affects nutritional absorption in goat stomachs. It was quite interesting, quite gross too, but I had a lot of fun doing that. After that, I worked for the Department of Agriculture in a seed laboratory for a few years, and then I moved back to San Antonio, which is where I'm originally from, and worked for Texas Biomed doing quality control for them. At that point, I was kind of bored because, I'm a overachiever and I decided to go back to school. So I did my PhD in cell molecular biology. Basically, I studied DNA of the cell a lot. I did that at UTSA in San Antonio, and I loved it there. I had much fun. My research focused on, there's a lot of words right here, transcriptional regulation of the termination step of spermatogonial stem cells by these two transcription factors. Basically, it sounds very boring, but I studied a lot and I know more about testicle than I care to admit. I have all kinds of random sperm facts, and normally when we do face-to-face, I normally give you one of these. So, and some of my students, this is like one of the few things they remember. Like they'll be leaving after the final and they'll say, I still remember the first day of class when you told it. So here's your random fact, and you'll get these throughout the semester. So for you men out there, your gametes are your sperm. For us girls, it's our eggs. For every heartbeat, as you're sitting here trying to listen to me and wonder, oh gosh, is she crazy? You are producing about 1,500 sperm. I find that fascinating. So when you're just sitting there listening to this in class, watching TV, doing nothing, you're always doing something. You're always making gametes. Now, as females, we are kind of planners, and we made all of ours before birth, and we're just letting all ours die. But you men, you will keep making sperm until you die because you have this spermatogonial stem cell population. So think about how many times your heart has beat so far and how many sperm you've made. So congratulations for doing a lot of work so far. Now, how I've got to right here, I just moved to Fort Worth last year, and I just finished my first year here at TCC. I do love teaching biology, and like I said right here, I hate that we have to do this online because I love face-to-face. I love talking to y'all. I love hanging out before and after lab, talking about TV shows and sports games and all kinds of stuff. So we'll make it work. Don't be afraid to ask questions and even just talk about random stuff. Now, I am in charge of the non-majors here at Tarrant County College at the Trinity River campus, so I do both 1408 and 1409. So if you really love biology, you can take the second half with me, which is a lot of fun. Some random stuff about me, this little cute guy right here, that's my fur Ravel. I promoted him to teaching assistant since I've been working from home since spring break. He really doesn't do anything, to be honest. He doing grading, and sometimes you might hear him scratching or barking in the background, but I promoted him. I gave him a job, because I'm at home all the time. He loves to hang out, and he just waits till I'm done so we can go to Mutt's. So Mutt's is a cool dog park in Fort Worth. If you're ever there, don't be afraid to say hi. I'm a small dog park regular, so I do love it. Really cool place. I've had several students that have gone there, and I see them so all the time. So don't be afraid of that. And I do love to go for walks with him on the Trinity trails. He is older. He's like going to be 9 at the end of this year, and he has a little doggy stroller. So if you ever see a purple stroller up and down the trails, that's going to be me. If you ever want to go on walks and talk about biology or anything, don't be afraid to ask. I do love to go for walks in the evenings or the mornings. So don't be afraid to ask. But he's my little fur kid. My husband's doing his doctorate at TCU in music, so that's brought us to Fort Worth. Some other random things, because you might hear me talk about it. I'm a huge fan of red wine, not the sweet ones. I'm talking about Cabs and Merlots and the red blends. And I always said, I was like, you give me a good Cab and a good charcuterie board, and we're gonna have a great time, because I love cheese and wine. My favorite things. Some other things, I'm also a huge Cowboys fan. Don't hold that against me. I have been a diehard, and I just hope that one day we actually might get past the first round of the playoffs or the second round. But we'll see. But don't be afraid to ask questions or talk about random shows. Sometimes when I see something really cool or a good series or something on Netflix, I tell students there's all kinds of cool stuff out there. And don't be afraid to share stuff with me too. There's all kinds of fun stuff out there. And I always tell my students, you can think of me as a person. I am human, and I love to do things and talk to y'all about stuff. So that's just a little bit about me. So let's keep going. So why are you taking this? Why do I have to take biology? Well, you need a science credit, and you're probably scared of chemistry, which has a lot of math, or you don't want to talk about rocks. You don't want to take geology, or maybe you're already taking it and you need your other credit. So one thing I want to tell you is don't be scared. I know it's going to sound very scary at first, but this is designed to help you succeed. I have the course set up. Even if you're not the best test taker, if you keep up with all the work, turn your stuff in on time, and just turn it in, you do well. I've had students that most of the time, if they fail, which not many do, but I do have students that will do that, it's because they don't do the work or they just don't turn in things. There's some symbols like discussion posts. There were 20 points. You see, 20 points is that much, but that 20 points might be the difference between you passing and failing, and it might take maybe 2 minutes of your time. So do the work. That's what I said. Now, how do I like to design my courses, especially for the online ones? I will pre-record all the lectures. I do this because I like it to run pretty much asynchronously, because I don't know what you're going to be doing. Everyone has different work schedules. You might be having to take care of kids if they're doing learning at home, or taking care of parents, all kinds of stuff. I want to make sure that you can do this on your own time. I will have their schedule posted. It's up in Blackboard of suggested lectures to watch that week. And I'm going to try to keep them short, about 15-20 minutes max, just to make sure that it's not overwhelming. Now, I'm supposed to do an optional once-a-week live session, and I did send a poll out asking, and those are going to be on Tuesdays. And I'll do one in the late mornings and then one in the early evenings. With these sessions, kind of think of them like office hours. So you can come and go. You're not required to stay the whole time. You pretty much drive the material. So if something's not making sense, ask for help. It's like, okay, I'm having trouble with finding the answer for this assignment. I don't understand the concept, what you're having me do here. I'm kind of unsure about the difference between RNA and DNA. Can you go over it? Or just talk about anything. You just want some human contact. Use these sessions. So I'm not going to take attendance at them. How I do attendance is you have to turn in something the week, and I just check that on Saturdays. But these are going to be optional. They'll be in Blackboard Collaborate, and there'll be like a room, and you just open up the link, and I'll be there. You're not required to slot line in with your video. If you just want to come in, chat, put in the chat, ask a question, you can do that. With the course, there are going to be due dates for everything. Please keep up with those. By that, I do have to take off for late work. I do that so not everyone waits the last minute to turn things in. Just keep up with that. And I do send you reminders every Monday. I'll probably send you like, hey, this is what we're doing this week. This is what's due. Please make sure that you get it done. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is the entire course is open from the start. What that means is you are now able to work ahead. So if you want to be, don't want to just stick with the schedule, if you got a lot of free time, if you want to go and knock out, 2 weeks worth of work, you can do that. I allow you to do things in. You can even take the test ahead of time. So it's set up to where you can do that. Office hours, besides the live sessions, I'm pretty much stuck behind my computer. I'm working from home the rest of the semester. So pretty much when you email me, I do try to get back to you within 24 hours. So don't be afraid to ask. If you can't come to either of those live sessions, you can just say, hey, can we set up a one-on-one session? I've done that with other students before. Like I'm with a student, I'm having trouble with these genetic problems. Can you help me? And we just set up a one-on-one session and we kind of worked through the assignment, and got help through that. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Or if you have a small group and you want to do a review, we can set it up. Just let me know the schedule that works for you. So what do you need to buy? Well, actually, as long as you paid your tuition, you should be set up. Now, with this course, I switched to using OER, open-ended resources, because I don't like making students buy a textbook. Textbooks are expensive and they just take up space. Trust me, I have a ton of them all over the place. I'm using OpenStax, and I'm going to post the links in Blackboard so you're able to access the chapters right there, and I'll show you where those are. You can actually get the book. Here's the link. You can just click on it and open it up a line. If you're one of those that has to have a physical copy, you can actually buy one. They're at the bookstore, or you can get it off of Amazon. But I like this because it's free. You can download it as a PDF and put it I have it on my iPad, and then I can highlight all over it. So the book is free. That's great. Now lab, since we're not able to meet face-to-face, I kind of converted the lab topics we would have covered to all virtual labs. Getting kits is hard because with shortages, I didn't know to make sure that we all were able to start the work on the same time. So I designed all the labs to be virtual. So you don't have to buy anything for lab. Everything will be on Blackboard. So there's no lab manual, no kit, nothing. Everything will be on Blackboard. So you don't have to worry about that. So bonus, you don't have to buy the lab manual. If we were meeting face-to-face, you would have had to purchase that. Now, since we are doing an online course, please make sure that you have your access to your computer, a good internet connection. The school should be able to help you out with that also if either of these is a problem. Make sure that she give you PDFs, Word, all these different things. They do make us use Proctorial for exams, so please make sure that you check with that. I'm pretty sure you're going to have to deal with that a little bit more on your other courses, but I'm just reminding you, with the online switch, they are using that, so you'll need a webcam too. And with Proctorio, I use it mostly to, make sure we're not all cheating, but make sure it's you. You'll see when I talk about the test, I actually make them open note because I don't want to stress you out more than you already are. So what am I going to be doing? Now, all this is in the syllabus, or the ICR. I'm used to seeing syllabus all the time, in a lot more detail. Now, I have this course broken up over 6 units. So for each unit, you'll have maybe a lab, an assignment, sometimes there's a discussion post, but each unit's going to have its own exams. So total, you're going to take 6 exams. Now, what each exam is going to do is be worth 100 points. What I do is I drop your lowest exam. So your exams make up about half of your grade. Okay, so, sometimes we have a bad day, so it happens. I understand, life happens, so you might have a bad day, or you really don't care about the material for that one. If you find photosynthesis boring, so you decide, that's the one I'm going to bomb. Or if you do really good on exams 1 through 5, if you want to totally bomb exam X because it's not going to really affect your grade, you can do that. So 6 exams, I drop your lowest one. You're going to have to do some discussion posts. Now, these I'll talk about in a second. They're not too hard. They're fun topics that we might not be able to talk about in class or online as much. And it's just to get your opinion on it. You're going to do 5 of them. They're worth 20 points each, and they're 10% of your grade. So that's like an easy 10% because it's your opinion. I really can't count your opinion wrong or right. As long as you do it on time. So this is easy. My advice is knock all these out right at the beginning. You also are going to have 40% of your grade make up of labs and assignments. So if we were doing face-to-face, we probably would have had about lab be 30% overall grade and maybe some in-class work for this. So you're going to see different assignments. Some of them might be short papers. I know there's a reflection on how the virus has affected your life. You wouldn't think about that, but look where we are now. Some might be a review to help you understand. The labs are virtual, so you might have to click on a link and it'll take you through a bunch of questions and you'll have to answer them. All of this is on Blackboard and you'll be able to turning everything on Blackboard. So grading. Now I like to working out of a total of 1,000 points. So I like that it's quite simple because you're just building points onto it. So think of it, there's always going to be a running total column that's going to be on Blackboard. And it's like a journey, you know. It's not a sprint. This course isn't a sprint. It's like a marathon. So everything you do is adding to that overall point total. So as I mentioned, those discussion posts, 20 points apiece. So every time you do that, you're going to see your point total go up. Now this is all going to be kept up and running on Blackboard, but how the grades work out. So if you have 895 points, because that will round up to a 90 right there, you'll get an A. If you're just aiming for that B, you need to get 795 points. You just want that C right there. There's a lot of people, some people they just want to get the C. 695 points, all right, and then D and F, so on. Now remember, I do drop your lowest exam grade, and Blackboard's going to be automatically calculating that in a column. Until there's like an actual physical grade entered, it's going to not show up all your exam grades. Now, one of my biggest things is I keep up with grading. I hate it when teachers wait till last minute to do all the grading and you have no idea how you're doing in it. I do this as my own personal policy. Within a week of it being turned in, it will be graded. A lot faster since everything is online. So turn stuff in and I will get it back to you within a decent amount of time, because I find it very rude to students when teachers wait till last minute to grade everything and you don't have idea what you're doing. I want you to know your status in the course all the time. Now, I will get my work done on time, but I ask you to do the same thing. So when work is turned in late, I do take off 5 points per day. So some of these things, like your discussion posts, if they're only worth 20 points, after a few days, it'll be worth 0 points. So keep up with stuff on time, you know, so don't wait till last minute. I love when y'all like to wait till like 11 p.m. and start working on stuff and then something doesn't make sense. All right, work and your schedule out accordingly. You'll have everything laid out on the course from day one. So now these next few slides are going to walk you through the course and kind of show you where to find things. So when you open up the course, it's going to open up the calendar. I like calendar because it kind of shows you, boom, here is everything. So if something's due, you'll actually see a picture. It's like, oh, okay, this is today, and there's a big old black line here. That means something is due. You'll have the due dates there and the times also. So I have it opened up to here. On the side is where you're going to see the modules, or where you'll find everything else. Now, there's going to be one called Important Docs, boom, right there. This is where you're going to find like the ICR. I also have a schedule that you can print out of everything, like in the suggested reading, the suggested lectures to watch that week, what day. The way I have it set up, you're going to either turn stuff in on a Wednesday, or Saturday. So you're going to be logging, sure you at least check in at least on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Make sure you turn your stuff in. Now, my advice is to take that schedule. There's a file that you can print off and put it on a bulletin board on a place where you can see that. I've had students tell me they print it off and then they scratch stuff off as they get it done. The schedule is a pace, all right? So this is just suggested lectures you watch all that week. If you want to watch the 2 weeks worth of lectures all in one night, good for you. It's up to you, however you want to do it. But please keep up with the due dates. So the schedule is there. If you go to Important Docs, you'll see a printed off schedule that you could do. And my advice, like I have it right on a bulletin board next to me. So like on Mondays, I'll look, I was like, okay, so you have going on this week? Let me send the announcement reminder. Okay. So how I have it organized after that, if you go and click on units, boom, 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 right there at the top, right there, you're going to see it broken up into 6 units. Now, I organized this. Each unit might be 1 or 2 chapters. And most of them are going to be like 2 chapters. And if you go onto that chat unit, you're going to open it up, and the first thing you'll see is like an overview. Now, what the overview does is it tells you, hey, this is what we're going to be covering. It tells you which lectures I'll have, and there'll be a link for each lecture recording. And then I'll tell you the assignments that you'll be doing. So it's like a little checklist. It's like, okay, I need to do this virtual lab, there's a review, and a discussion post. And then, of course, the exam. So this kind of gives you an overview of what's going to be happening in that unit. And then also, a cartoon. I think they're fun. You're going to see a lot of cartoons because biology cartoons are cool, and I'm a science nerd. So if you scroll down below the overview, you'll see all the good nuts and bolts that you want to see. So first off will be lectures. So if you click on this right here, what you're going to see is you're going to get all the PDF files of all the lectures that I have. I have it as a PDF because they don't take as much space. If you need a PowerPoint, let me know and I will email it to you personally. But the PDF files are there for all the lectures, and below each PDF file, you'll actually see a link to the video of the narration of it. Like I said, you're not required to watch them, but I don't know, sometimes listening to people talk helps. And at the end of them, you'll see like some review slides that have like links to videos that are actually very helpful. The next one you'll see is guided notes. You're not required to do these, but sometimes these help with reading the text. So if you are not the best at reading textbooks, my advice is to use these, and they kind of help you read through the text and pull out the important material. I have had students do those, and it helps them study for the test a lot. You're going to see another folder that says links to the online book. If you click on that, then I'm going to have a link for each chapter that's covered in the unit. Or you can just go to the book online directly, but I want to make sure you have the links right there. Now, below that is going to be all the nuts and bolts of the stuff that's going to be graded. So if there's a discussion post associated with that unit, there'll be a link right there. There's also a discussion board that you should be able to get to. And now with the discussion post, you do need to create your own thread before you can see other people, but I'll talk about that in a second. You'll see a link for the exam. Remember, they are proctored. And then you'll see all the different assignments or virtual labs, and they will all be right here. So under the unit folder is where you're going to find most of the magic. So a little bit more about each of the things that's going to get graded. Now the discussion posts, as I mentioned, you're going to have 5 total this semester, and they cover some fun topics. One about pig human chimeras. And you have no idea what I'm talking about? It's really cool. It talks about how we might solve an organ shortage problem. Now with these, it's your opinion. So with your opinion, I can't count your opinion wrong or right. You know, you might not agree with me on some of these, which is fine. That's a good thing. We shouldn't have differing opinions sometimes. But I just want to hear what you have to say. And if you have some data that you have to support your opinion, feel free to share it. Share videos and links, because there's stuff out there I haven't even found yet. So you'll go through, and like this is like the link that you click, and sometimes there'll be like a little prompt and a video to watch, and they're kind of fun because there's actually a lot of weird stuff out there. You'll watch the video and then you'll go create a thread. Like I said, you're not required to comment on other people's posts. I have that because everyone likes to wait till last minute to do them, and then it's only the people that turn stuff in early get commented on, and it just makes a big mess. So as long as you do it, you get your 20 points. All right, easy 20 points right there. Now, if you do want to comment on someone's post, please keep it civil. All right, it's everyone's opinions. Like, think of people as like a big iceberg. You only see what's above, but you don't know what led to all what's below sea level, what led to their opinion to form them the way they are. So keep it civil, but do have fun with these. Exams. Like I mentioned, we have to use Proctorio, and I'm using the same settings Connect uses, the online campus. There's going to be like a little guide to help you walk through it and a little tip sheet. Exams, I do cut off at 9 p.m. because I know life happens. Sometimes you accidentally click and it goes out the window. If that does, let me know. Please let me know, Amy, and I can probably reset the attempt if I see you did something stupid. Or, you know, life happens. I know it does. Or you got a call late to work, won't be able to start on time, email me, right? I understand things happen, you know, emergencies happen. If it happens every time, I start to question it, but, you know, please keep up with that. I also do 9 p.m. so you're not taking exams at 2 in the morning. So if something bad happens, this allows me time to fix it before the cutoff. Because you don't know what's happening at night. You know, like I said, I love my wine, so you don't want me doing stuff at 11 p.m. You don't know what class I'm on by that point. Now, one thing on the exams I want you to know is you are able to use your notes. So you can print off the PowerPoint slides. You are also able to use those guided notes. But I do want to note that Proctorio is going to lock down your browser. So I would prepare ahead of time. Print it out, have it all there. Assignments and virtual labs. So with these, you're going to see there's going to be PDF and a Word doc file. It's going to be posted for each of them, whichever format you want. You're able to do that. You will submit them on Blackboard. So you'll open it and it'll tell you what to do. So like for the virtual lab for macromolecules, here's that. You'll go to this website. You'll go through all the steps and fill out this table. Now, I do have the rubrics available, so when you click on it, you can see View Rubric, and it'll show you the point breakdown for the table. And I'll use the rubrics for grading and all that other stuff. So please make sure you keep up with the due dates on these. If you have any questions, something's not making sense, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for questions. That's what I'm here for. And then finally, grading. If you go on the My Grades tab, module on the side, it'll show you everything. It also shows the due dates, which is actually quite helpful. Now, one thing I wanted to remind you, we're working at that 1,000 points, so you're going to keep adding points onto your total the whole semester. Sometimes Blackboard does weird things, so if something's not showing up right, let me know. You know, sometimes I have to override it in a certain place, and I have 154 of y'all, so sometimes I might actually have to click something, so please let me know. But we're going to be working with this. If it's getting towards the end of the semester, you're not quite sure where you're standing, let me know, and I'll kind of remind you and walk you through how the grading works. And then finally, have fun. I love biology, and hopefully you'll have a little bit more after this. Explore the course, you know, and if something's not opening up, a link is not working, please let me know, because sometimes it takes a long time to set up a full online course, and we've been setting these up pretty quickly. I hopefully have everything working. I did a run through with the summer class and it worked pretty well. Don't be afraid to ask questions and email me. Like I said, I will get back to you within 24 hours. If I'm going out of town to visit my family back around San Antonio, I do check it there, but I might not get back to you right away, depending if I'm driving and all the other stuff. But I'll have access to my computer. If we needed to have a one-on-one session outside the normal sessions on Tuesdays, we can do that. But I want you to know, have fun with this course. Biology is fun. If it's stressing you out, then we're not having fun. When you're having fun, you actually retain the material a little bit better. I know at first it's going to be kind of boring and bland. I hate chemistry. I really do. And photosynthesis, cell respiration, they're not fun. But the second half gets really cool. That's when we get to the DNA stuff and genetics. So here's your other random fact for the day. So what you do is put your hands together. You're just sitting there and interlace your fingers. And when you look down at that, I want you to look. You either put your left thumb on top or your right thumb on top. Now, no one taught you how to do this. You probably were just observing and you just went and did that. Now, did you know that it is controlled by genetics, which thumb you put on top? So your parents determined how you put your hands together. It's A's, T's, G's, and C's. It's little nucleotides and the combination of them that your parents gave you to determine if you put your left or right thumb on top. So next time you're at Thanksgiving and everyone's going on the table saying what they're thankful for, you can look around the family. It's kind of cool. Left thumb is dominant, so if you're kind of curious. So, like I said, I know a plethora of useless facts, and I thought that's kind of cool. So I'm going to stop it right there. Have fun. Hopefully you'll love biology a little bit more. If you love it a lot, then 1409 is a really fun course. Students really love that. Stop this right here.